Thanks for joining me to look at some hip hop albums. Today I'm going to be focusing on Kanye West and some associated projects. Kanye West, rapper, producer, amongst other things, from Chicago, but he is also one of the most famous people in the world, and I don't think there's much need to elaborate on him. So we're going to start off with his debut album, The College Dropout. Before that, he was predominantly known as a producer. He rapped as well, but a lot of the prime era Rockefeller Records releases, he was a big part of that production team. And when this one came out, it was a massive hit. Everyone thought it was a masterpiece, and I merely liked it. I did buy it when it came out, don't get me wrong. Strung out from beginning to end. If I had to pick two songs, I'm going to go with We Don't Care and Slow Jams. But time has been kind to it again. Everyone thought this was the best thing ever at the time. I thought it was good, not great. When I revisit it, it's definitely a classic. But I like Late Registration better. This one came out a couple years later in 2005. My favorite songs were probably Drive Slow and Crack Music. But this album, it feels like the most cohesive Kanye West album. I think it just has the most consistent sound. No bad tracks. Really brings me back to a time and a place. And yeah, there was another album that I'll get to later that I regard as his best for many years, but in hindsight, this is his best album to me. After that would be Graduation. I don't know why I didn't buy that album. I just wasn't interested at the time. And then the one after that, 808 and Heartbreaks, I heard pretty mixed reaction to it. I thought I wouldn't like it, but I did buy it a couple years later. And I was pleasantly surprised, actually. 2008, it was a bit of a new style, more auto-tune, different beat style. Just a couple guest appearances, Kid Cudi, Young Jeezy, Lil Wayne. I think this is one of his best releases for sure. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The music press seems to regard this as his masterpiece, and I did as well for many years. I thought this was a great artistic statement. Didn't like every song, but it still just drew respect from me. But I do not play it much these days, and for that reason I, again, have come to the conclusion that Late Registration is the best one. I think, I forget what website it was. I don't know if it was like Rolling Stone or if it was Pitchfork, and not that I really care about their opinions for the most part, but, you know, sometimes you take a look at these lists, and I think this was the best album of the 2000s. I'm pretty sure it received those accolades. Yeezus. I have mixed feelings on this one. 2013. Bound 2, I think that was the song I liked the best. Unique packaging, as you can see. I always kind of remember this album because it came out right before I got married, and for our honeymoon we were in Vegas, and this is one of the handful of albums that I brought for the rental car. So I always am brought back to those times. And I lost interest in Kanye West after that. He had that whole Life of Pablo thing where it was only streaming on Tidal, and I think to this day it's never had a physical release. And I actually usually like artists with like a chip on their shoulder. That's cool with me, but he was always too spazzy, just throwing fits. I don't really like that. And as I've said a million times, I've been kind of distancing myself from hip-hop through the years. I keep track of what's going on now and listen to the old classics, but that's about it. You know, Spotify kind of knows my taste, and it'll suggest me some songs, and that's about it. It's rare that I'm going to go and buy a new album these days. But, so he's put out a couple other releases. Lately it's been more gospel music, and I don't even know where he's at now. if his next album's going to be more of this gospel rap or back to secular rap. I don't really know. And I don't really care, actually. All the political stuff. Like, I'm not into that stuff at all. I'm just into music, as I've said a million times. But it's all just become a lot, and I moved on. But you have this release here. It's called Cruel Summer by Good Music. Good Music being Kanye West's record label. Kind of unique packaging here. You got a slide out tray with the disc, and then another compartment with the liner notes. So again, compilation of mostly good music artists. Kanye West is on most songs. My favorite ones, they have the I Don't Like Chief Keef song remix with a bunch of guest appearances. Cold One with DJ Khaled. And there's a Kid Cudi song called Crawlers. That's probably my favorite one on here. So Pusha T was a rapper on Good Music on Def Jam 2. This is his album My Name Is My Name. I think that's his second full-length album. More unique packaging. Great album, but I haven't put it on in ages. He came from a group called The Clips, who put out 2 releases. This one, Lord Willing, and then after they'd have an album called Hell Hath No Fury. I never listened to that, but I've heard it's great. But this album here came out 2002, and it was regarded very highly at the time. Grinding was the big single there. But my 2 favorite songs are Gangsta Lean and I'm Not You with Jadakiss and Styles. And this doesn't really have much to do with Kanye West, but although Pusha T went on to be affiliated with Kanye West, they started off underneath the wing of the Neptunes, who were a production group. Don't know that's still a thing. I just know, Pharrell's still very famous in the music world. And his production group, the Neptunes, with Chad Hugo and Pharrell himself, put out this compilation called Clones. Save everyone from Busta Rhymes to Ludacris, Nor, Snoop, and some lesser known names. My favorite song on here was probably what I believe to be the first single, Fronting, Pharrell featuring Jay-Z. And that's it for today. Just some Kanye West albums and some associated projects, and that's it for now. Thanks.